So you're doing you mentioned the play. Let's talk about the play.
The play. So in 2023, I'm still my best friends are all my friends from school in Edinburgh. And if you grow up in Edinburgh, you can't escape witches and Scottish folklore and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if you know this, but Scotland was excellent at killing witches.
I do, because I've just read Harriet Tice's book.
Oh, really? Okay.
Which is set in Edinburgh. And
is it set in Edinburgh?
Yeah.
Okay, so between 1563 and 1736, 4,000 women were accused of witchcraft, which per head of the population is bigger than even the German witch hunts.
Right.
And we had the Witchcraft Act, which made it legal to sort of say, Richard's wife turned my milk sour, she's a witch.
Yeah.
And if you defended her, then you'd be in on it as well. So we'd got, and that's a way that we got rid of it. And Shakespeare got in on the act as well, because when King James, the first of England, sixth of Scotland, was coming down, he was coming down to England, Shakespeare wanted a gig. So he was like, what's he into? So he's into Succession, because his aunt killed his mum.
Yes.
And he's not a big fan of women because he's killing witches.
Yeah.
So they Shakespeare wrote Macbeth.
Right.
Elizabeth I liked fairy stuff and Midsummer Night's Dream, so he wrote that for her. But then when he wanted a gig with the new king, he went straight in with Macbeth.
Yeah.
And then was made the king. So that perpetuated the whole story of witches in Scotland.
Very much the Brett Goldstein of his day.
Very much. Saw an opportunity, did a wee self-tape, boom.
Yeah.
But when in 2023, Nicola Sturgeon, maybe 2022, I think it was 2023, Nicola Sturgeon formally apologised to all the women who were executed as witches in Scotland.
Yeah.
She said, I can't pardon them because that's a legal precedent, but I can apologise because it was terrible what we did, and I'm sorry.
Yes.
And I said to one of my girlfriends from school, she needs to watch herself because she's the right age. They'll come for her. She's the right age.
Right.
Because witch hunts still happen. Look at Meghan Markle and Caroline Flack, and they still happen. They're called different things. And I said, she needs to watch herself. And then she apologised on International Women's Day on the 8th of March. She was arrested the following February,
right,
for financial irregularities in the Scottish National Party, and she wasn't guilty. So it was like her husband was doing something. So she lost it. She resigned. She lost her job. She lost her husband. And she hadn't done anything.
Right.
And so my friend from school was like, you called that, you need to write it. So what I've done is my play matches actual witch trials from the 1700s to modern day witch hunts.
Great. That sounds very good. It's not like Harriet Tice's book, either. but there's loads.
It's rooted in fact.
Yeah. Well, so's her book's a fiction as well. I mean, sorry, it's a fiction, but she uses lots of facts as well.
Yeah, I love that.
All the stuff about there's loads of stuff on Arthur's Seat, and things that have been dug up on Arthur's Seat.
Yeah, well, we tried to sort of they tried to do a memorial for women because they weren't witches, they were women. Let's be clear about this. They were women.
I don't think they were witches. No, but some of them might have been witches.
Yeah, but
was it worth it just to get one?
Just
witch?
to get one, you can never be too careful. I think 4,000 women is the right amount to accuse, but. We couldn't find a memorial. They couldn't decide on a memorial because it's happened so many places.
Yeah.
So the Witches of Scotland, it's a podcast that you should listen to. It's amazing. They've developed a tartan, and that's a memorial tartan commemorating all the women who were executed as witches.
Yeah, I mean it's fucking insane. I mean, but like you say.
And then it went over to Salem, and
but it's not. It's not inconceivable.
Yeah. Well, to put it in context, Salem, killed 29 women?
Yeah.
Scotland did nearly over 2,500.
Yeah.
Were executed, and they weren't like everyone talks about the sort of in drowning, and if you floated, we didn't really do that. What we did was we'd hang you, and then we'd burn you. So not because it was vindictive evilness. It was because there was a time where people were worried you'd reanimate.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's loads of there's the database of Scottish witchcraft where you can put in your ancestor's name and it'll flash up if anyone was accused or convicted.
Right.
And it has the trials. Quite a lot of them don't have the trials, but they do have the money it costs to keep the witch. And because you have to black out the curtains black out the windows in case you sort of manage to cast a spell on anyone, and the peat it costs to burn her, and the money it costs for the guards to look after her, and there's all that sort of finance in place, but not necessarily her trial.
And that's what year? So that's sort of Shakespeare.
That's 1563 to 1736.
Fucking hell.
170 odd years.
And now Scotland's ahead of England. That's the thing in terms of being, culturally ahead of
killing women.
No, the other way around.
Yeah.
Now I'd go to Scotland and think, the people here. I mean, I remember like going when I went to Scotland, like as a student, thinking, oh God, it's gonna be scary up here, and everyone's tough and everyone's drunk, and it was a bit like that.
But that's only in the Gilded Balloon.
It was in the Gilded Balloon, but like now it's moved. It's moved in a forward direction, a thinking direction, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Whereas England has sort of really gone in the other direction.
I think England's sort of so divided, though. As a comic, I just, like, you go around and, like, I mean, I don't know if you travel as much as you used to, but, like, I was in Colchester on Saturday. I'm in Sheffield, Exeter and Cardigan Bay this week. Like, we get around and you speak to people and you just go, God, everyone's so divided.
Yeah.
And people in power are pitting us against each other.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem,
No, it's bad. It's bad times. It's bad times.
And also when you drive in somewhere, like I drove into Epsom last week, and there's St George's flags everywhere, and you're like, in Epsom, you're fine. You're fine. You're doing all right.
Yes, it's. I was saying, I've said this on the other day on Twitter, or not Twitter, but one of the social media places. I don't do Twitter anymore. But like the amount of effort it took to put all those flags up. If those guys had just said, "Hey, why don't we go and fill in a few potholes in the roads?" They could have done so much good, and then people would have, everyone would have loved them. It would have been better for Reform or whoever they're supporting.
You could have done a flag in the road if it's that important to you.
You could have painted the pothole with a little England flag on there.
Yeah,
because the infrastructure is so it's noticeably bad.
Everything goes wrong. I mean, I think it's Mark Nelson that's got that great joke where, like, he said, like the when all the richest men in the world are building spaceships to get off the planet, and they're like Virgin. Richard Branson's trying to build a spaceship to get into space, and he can't even work Wi-Fi on a Virgin bloody train. You're like.
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll all go, but I think they'll leave us behind in an unpleasant place.
Fingers crossed.
So you were involved. Like, I'm very interested in your stand-up journey because you, like you say, you were working at the Gilded Balloon as a teenager, watching these comedians and liking comedy. But you didn't think of becoming a stand-up.
I didn't think I could do it. I wanted to do it.
Right.
I remember seeing Eddie Izzard doing the same show the next night and going, oh, he doesn't make it up.
Right.
Oh my God. And it was really shocking to me.
Yeah.
And then thinking, I'll never be able to do that. And then when Max was 6 weeks old, thinking, if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it.
Right.
And so I tried it, and I felt like, and I know people do comedy for all kinds of reasons, but I really enjoyed the connection. My favourite thing is when I make an observation and I can see people in the crowd going, oh, you do that. And you know what I mean? You see them and you kind of go, and like I like talking about humdrum stuff and picking it out to a wider point.
Yeah, but that's a time when your kid's 6 weeks old.
6 weeks old. I was breastfeeding. I remember handing a comedian a baby, running in, doing an open spot, and then.
Right.
Yeah, it was tough, but I think it was that sort of, how mad we are, like the madness of a newborn.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I've just grown a fucking human. I can do anything.
Yes.
I've grown teeth. I've grown brains.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. But it's still like it's a big deal. I mean, it's great. It's an amazing time to start doing it, but it's also like it's
tough.
It's really tough. So it's very admirable to do that. Yeah. Even being a father of a newborn child, it's difficult.
And then I was a single mum for like 3 years, and and I can't recommend comedy highly enough.
Right.
As a mother, because you're there in the mornings, you get them up, you take them to school.
Yeah.
You're right during the day, and then you pick them up from school and you do all the mum stuff and you're there and you're present. And if you don't want to work when it's sports day, you don't fucking work when it's sports day.
Yeah,
and those things zip by so quickly. I just didn't, and my mum was a career woman, so I didn't want to not know what my kids' friends were or know that, keep your head away from Jake because he's got lice every day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't colour in. You see them colouring in next to their friends with their heads touching. You're like, get your head off that kid. I wanted to know all that stuff. Yeah. And I think as a comedian, you get to do that because you feed them, you do bath time, you put them in bed, you get a sitter or a friend to come round and you go out and you do your gig.
Yeah.
And you get to be a bit that's you. That's not just... I mean, I say it's not just being a mum. I used to talk about, I didn't have time, and I didn't have the bandwidth or the energy to write material. I just go, guess what little shit said today? And I still do that to an extent.
Yes.
But I think, like, even mental health wise, it's kind of like free therapy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, with all these conversations over comedians, I think we do get to talk about whatever shit we're going through.
Yeah, and
it just absolutely, just being able to talk about anything, even if you don't come to any conclusions,
Yeah.
would just say get stuff off your chest. It really helps.
And I also, what I find amazing is I've just written a new show called Bitchcraft,
Right.
which is kind of about, I've spent a lot of time in my life trying to please my parents and trying to please my husband and trying to please my friends. And then you get to sort of the age of where we are now and like, do you know what? There's no fucking point because I just resent everyone when I'm trying to make everybody happy. And
Yeah.
they don't see the hoops you're jumping through. They think that's just who you are. And you're actually, no. I don't like that. Do you know what? I don't like peas. Stop feeding me peas. Like, but I don't know why it's taken me so long to get there.
Yeah.
And it's about sort of occupying the space where you just want to be the person that you were meant to be.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, as we say, your kids are sort of. I mean, a couple of them are grown up.
Grown up, but this is the
And they're
first time.
nearly-
So I feel like I've got a resurgence now because for the first time since I've started stand up, I don't have to do a school run.
Right.
Because Riley can get himself home. So that's
Yeah.
like 21 years that I've not been able to drive to Sheffield.
Yes. that's
Because
interesting.
I have to be, well, I don't have to be home, but I don't see the point in being a mum if you're going to fuck it up.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
If
no,
you get that
definitely.
wrong, there's no point in being good at anything else.
Definitely.
Do you not think?
I do.
There's
I do.
enough
And like,
damaged people walking around. I just want to be present and there. And
Yeah.
you're doing the best job you can. I'm not going to be perfect, but I do say sorry when I fuck it up to my kids, which is a step in the right direction, I hope.
It is. Not everyone does. And you forget. I think it's when we've both done this job all of our lives, or what job adjacent to this all of our lives, and you sort of like you're going, oh, I'm going to be. What are you doing at Easter with your kids? And they go, well, I'm working, so I'm not going to do anything with my
Yeah.
kids. And you got to go, oh yeah, people have to go
Yeah,
to work.
but also I think
Oh.
I take Easter off.
Yeah.
I book time off because what I wanted was a sort of secure family,
Yeah.
and and now that kids are older, if I'm buying the holiday, they're coming with me. The holiday, and also they never used to like getting dragged around music festivals, but they are the first on the lineup, booking me in, going right. You're doing Latitude this year because I want to see David Byrne, and you're doing what else am I doing? I'm Kendall Calling because they want to see whoever's on at Kendall Calling. I don't know, but
it's
they'll
nice.
come. Yeah, it's
But-
great.
Yeah, it's nice and it's nice to have a job where you can still be yourself and still be a proper parent and
Yeah.
be a family, and then every now and again take them to something
Take them to Lily
extraordinary.
Allen.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly
last
that.
night I was just saying we were saying
Yeah.
off mic that I was like bumped into a bar manager that I knew who got me tickets for Lily Allen. Then met somebody that I knew at the gig who got us to the after show.
Yeah,
We're just
amazing.
like it's just who you end up. But then it's the same for you. Like you end up chatting to people and you don't know who they are and what they do. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter who they are or what they do. But sometimes you get a nice wee kickback.
You do. It's a nice thing to have.